Dude, I am loving that song, man.
Dude, it's such a great pump up song. I get so jacked every time.
I
Leading
get
into the
pumped up
show.
as well, man. And glad to be here with you, Johnny. And of course, glad to be here with Whisper Nation. Thanks for spending your Thursday afternoon with us. Well, we're about to jump into the Thursday night football matchup here. The Baltimore Ravens are going to be visiting the Miami Dolphins. It's a 46-point over under, where Baltimore is going to be favored by 7.5. We're going to jump into all of the start, sits, recommendations, insights, all that good stuff coming your way for tonight's matchup. But before we do, I got to give a big shout out here to my co-host on the other side right over here. That's Johnny Game Time Hicks. You can follow him on Twitter at Johnny_Game Time. You can follow me over on Twitter here at Austin_R_Seer. And of course, follow the show at TF Whispers. And Johnny, I wanted to jump right into this question. I've been wanting to know, we are now halfway through the season and we have Thanksgiving coming up officially. Yeah. I wanted to ask you who you are most thankful for, or what you are most thankful for in the fantasy football world. And, whether it can be a player, it can be something going on in the industry. What are you most thankful for here the first half through the season, Johnny?
I mean, obviously we would both, me and my co-host here, Austin, and Big Trevi would probably second it from his bed. But it'd probably be Whisper Nation on top of that list, of course. But I want to give something a little bit more. I think we both agree. We all agree. That's the easy one to shout out, right? I'm gonna go with my boy, the man, the myth, the legend, the guy on the wall. Of course, I gotta go with DeAndre Swift. Of course, everyone doubted. And he is.
Did everybody doubt? Did everybody doubt, or did a few people doubt that
there
you
were
kept close to your heart?
There were like 10% of people that were still on the DeAndre Swift bandwagon. It was so bleak. At one point, dude, there was only one row of the bandwagon filled because it was so empty. Now you could barely go anywhere because there's so many people piling on, which is great for DeAndre Swift. But again, that would probably be. I'm grateful because it panned out, because that would have been really, really bad if it did.
You put your whole fantasy football reputation on DeAndre Swift his rookie year in our league of record. We've all held you to that, and it has come through, man. Like, I got to give you credit where credit's due.
How about
he's
yourself?
Just kicked ass. He's doing good for you. How about for myself? You know what? I want to give back. You know what's kind of I'm most thankful for right now is more NFL players being involved in fantasy football.
Oh,
that is what I am more thankful for.
That is a great one.
Because it not only gives us a little bit of insight, like Austin Eckler putting himself in his own lineup, which we can actually use as tangible information to help us make decisions. It also just opens up the world. It helps you feel like less of a pariah. Like I remember starting playing fantasy football like 12 years ago and, telling my dad about it. And he's like, okay, it's cool, but let's not have it like infringe on the actual game. And, now it's just kind of really blended together. And as Coach Hugh Jackson said on the mock draft marathon, and we had the pleasure of interviewing him, fantasy football has just allowed more good conversations to happen. It's allowed fantasy football or football itself to be a part of more people's lives. And that's good for the game and it's good for the community.
It's great. Yeah, that's a great one. Dude, I was thinking about this morning, actually, how far we've come in fantasy football, to just put a quick age on how long we've been playing. Dude, when I got into fantasy football, there was no instant data, like instant fantasy updates on platform. You had to pay for it. Like Yahoo made you pay if you wanted to sit there on Sundays like we do and watch your score. You had to wait till Mondays, bro, to even know, unless you paid. That's how crazy, long. Dude. Yeah. Isn't it wild?
No, that really is wild. And it's wild to have everybody here with us joining along. The Chosen Rose. What's good? Jersey J, Rob Navarro, Brett Johnson.
Let's go.
It is awesome to have all of y'all with us. And I love the questions that are coming in. We are going to get to all of the questions. Not one will go unaddressed, but we are going to be getting through the matchup between the Baltimore Ravens and the Miami Dolphins. Got to get some housekeeping taken out of the way here first. Big shout out to Travi. He's got the day off, but send him some love over his direction. And if you like what you're listening to, and you want to hear some more of it, y'all already know the drill. Go ahead and hit us with a subscribe on the YouTube channel. Hit this video itself with a thumbs up, and that way you are going to be getting pinged when we have the content coming your way, and that is coming your way 6 out of 7 days of a week and twice on Sundays. Not really, it just sounded fun to say, but
actually,
we have all this
it
great.
is twice on Sunday because we release the Monday night matchup breakdown on Sunday nights now. So there it is. Boom, you did right there.
Twice on Sunday, man. We're just in sync.
That's how much we love it.
We love that. And if you haven't yet signed up to be a part of the Patreon community, I just say, make sure you know what you got on the line and you're missing out on if you haven't done that, because just as Johnny's got that DeAndre Swift jersey behind him, the last show he had the Joe Mixon jersey behind him, and that is the signed autograph jersey giveaway this month. Every single month we give away a free signed autograph jersey, and all you got to do to be entered into that raffle automatically is subscribe at the $10 level on Patreon, and you are automatically entered. And here's a little thing that's a little secret. There's not a ton of people in our Patreon subscription list at that level yet. So you have a really, really good shot of winning. And over the course of 12 months, like that's $120, $10 a month. Your chances are better than not of actually winning a jersey, and you're getting this jersey then at a significant bargain. But that's not going to stay this way because the channel continues to grow. Thanks for all your love and support. We appreciate
all of you guys
alongside of you. Absolutely,
got a lot of Patreon subscribers in here now.
Yeah, we got Mr. Miyagi. What's good, man? Jersey J, who just hopped on last time and helped him out. Awesome to have you with us on this Thursday afternoon. But let's go ahead, Johnny, and jump into some of this goodness on Thursday night.
Let's go.
Baltimore is visiting Miami. Baltimore is favored in this game by 7.5 points. And Johnny, it really makes sense considering they got Lamar Jackson right now, who is just cooking. Third quarterback overall right now with his bye in the rear view. Last week had 3 passing touchdowns to go along with 120 rushing yards. Beautiful win for the Ravens. Lamar is a true competitor, man. It reminds me of Monday Night Stream. We do our Monday live reaction shows. If you haven't jumped in, those are pretty fun. And we were talking a few weeks back, is Lamar that dude? Remember that? And it was like they were back. It was a big comeback.
Yeah, where he has to fumble and then he like starts playing.
That was against the Chiefs, right? When that on that game was it, and we're like, man, is he that dude? And we're like, I think he is. Let's see. And then he showed through, and he's had multiple chances since then. Lamar's a competitor. Lamar is a baller. Lamar is an evolutionary piece right now, and he's getting better and better. And he's finished at the top 7 at the position 3 out of the last 4 weeks. We expect that to continue tonight, going up against Miami, who's allowed the most passing yards on the season and tied for the 3rd most touchdowns surrendered. Great stat, Johnny, that you pulled there. So we know we love Lamar, but I got to ask you, how much do we love the pass catching options in this game? We're talking Rashod Bateman, talking Hollywood Brown, talking Mark Andrews, friend of the show. What is your outlook this game for those pass catchers, Johnny?
So you do need to monitor the weather a little bit. It is expected to be some thunderstorms and rainy. So obviously that would temper some expectations a little bit, but it's not expected to last the whole game, or, that I could see on the weather map. But I'm not an actual weather expert, so don't quote me on that. All right, I'm not an actual weatherman either. But when you're looking at this matchup, it is mighty juicy. You talked about how good it was for Lamar Jackson.
Yeah,
Miami, despite like their corners being actually pretty good, like their corners are top corners in the league, but they're still surrendering the 3rd most the 3rd most receiving yards, to wide receivers. This season, they are tied for 2nd, Austin, in allowed touchdowns to opposing wide receivers. Yeah, so it's looking like it's going to be a mega boss day, barring weather, for our boy Hollywood Brown. Listen, this guy has been on an absolute tear. I know people aren't really, he's got the butterfingers every once in a while. We get it. And it's rainy. That doesn't bode well. I get that. But he still leads this team, right? And target market share, even with Bateman coming back in the lineup.
Yeah.
And he's seeing up to 33% of the targets, Austin.
Damn.
You love that. Like, that's a tremendous amount. That's elite wide receiver 1 target percentage. And then check this out. This is fun. He's finished as a top 20 wide receiver in 6 out of 8 games this season. So I am sticking with it, as well as it's a return home game for him. His name, Hollywood Brown, because nickname for after Hollywood, Miami. So he's returning back to Miami, and he is going to have, that's what I'm saying, he's going to have a mega boss day tonight. Okay. And then a lot of people are probably going to be asking about Bateman. That's another big one. Do I play Bateman this week? I don't mind the Bateman dart throw if you need to, Austin.
Okay.
But it's a little bit shaky because he's seeing about 70% of snaps. He is seeing around 22% market share in 2 out of the 3 games that he's played in. So you do like that. He's got a 2.21 yards per route ran. That's glorious. Like we talked about, anything over 2 usually means that it's a good indicator that they're about to pop off. 13.4 yards per reception. So if you need a what the heck flex and you're thirsty Thursday, I don't mind the Bateman throwing them in there. Like we said, Miami giving up a lot of yardage. Talk about Mark Andrews real quick. Miami is a top 10 defense allowing fantasy points to tight end. So you're going to play Mark Andrews. Right now he's the tight end 2, Austin, on the season.
All formats.
But check how wild and misleading that stat is. He is finished outside the top 10 at the position in 5 out of 8 games. So that's wild to me. Like you 5 out of 8 games, you are outside of the top 10.
So he's volatile.
He's super volatile, and he's mega. Like a lot of his overall ranking was because of that mega boss day. He
147 yards, 2 touchdowns, week 5.
Yeah. So, but again, this week you're playing him, but there is some concern because with Bateman, I was surprised he's getting like 22% market share, Austin, and I was really surprised that wasn't really eating into Marquise Brown. Like his wasn't dipping all that significantly. The lowest that he had seen, even with Bateman in the lineup, was 22%. So that is something that you're going to want to monitor moving forward with Mark Andrews. But I want to ask you, that's like a lot of people have been asking about Bateman. I get that, but even more people have been asking Austin about this running backfield here. Do we trust in Devonta Freeman this week? He's been getting the goal lines. He's been looking like he dialed back the time a little bit a couple of years, and he's looking like a decent start tonight. Am I right?
He's looking decent, and I think the reason why he's looking like kind of like he's turned the clock back a little bit is because the Ravens and Harbaugh has done a good job of keeping all of their running backs fresh, which is nice for their efficiency. Last week, 13 carries for Devonta Freeman, 79 yards, a 4-yard reception, adding a touchdown there. You like that overall production. Le'Veon Bell, though, too, 11 carries, 48 yards on the ground, and a touchdown as well. And Murray, though, is arguably the favorite once he returns from his ankle. So that's like kind of moving forward. This week, I do like Devonta Freeman. He would be the one who would get my consideration. There's meat on the fantasy bone here, but it's going to be a flex start for me at best, given the diversity of this backfield, Johnny. And it's not like one of these guys really does anything a lot better than the other. It's not like, oh, here's the goal line plotter back. Here's the third down scat back who's really good in the open field. No, these are all former 3-down backs, and Latavius Murray and Le'Veon Bell and Devonta Freeman. These are all guys who used to carry the full load. They're a little bit just longer in the tooth now at this point, so they're not able to go, 20, 25 touches and still produce that efficient output. But Harbaugh's using them well. They're getting them involved in the goal line. It's a productive offense right now, and Lamar's evolved a little bit. It's more diverse. A collection of points across the board. So I don't, it's not even a desperate flex for Devonta Freeman the way that some of these halfbacks were for Baltimore to start off the year. I feel good about Freeman as a flex. It's a flex, so it's got lower floor because of the other running backs that could be prevalent, and Lamar Jackson is the best runner on that team. But as a flex play this week against Miami, I like Devonta Freeman, and I don't. If you were desperate, Le'Veon Bell would be okay. Depending on your level of desperation. It's not recommended, but it is plausible you're in a situation where you need to put in Le'Veon Bell. So, I wanted to ask you, though, here, before we move on, Lamar Jackson's been playing better. We got a lot of questions that come in the chat here about Rashod Bateman taking away from that target market share overall. Do you think that anybody's really going to be taking a hit, or do you think that this offense here is doing better and everybody's going to eat? Or just kind of like a little bit of an off-season, the rest of season
tonight,
outlook.
I think tonight they're all going to eat, but rest of season, I would trust the most in Brown, especially after what I've seen. I would be more worried about Bateman, especially because when Sammy Watkins comes back, which he's supposed to, he's going to he won't take into Marquise Brown's snap share. He'll eat into Bateman's. And that's why I pointed out, and it's concerning that if you want to play him tonight, you can, it'll be fun, but it is risky because he's only seeing 70%.
Yeah.
He hasn't seen above 70% snap share since he's came back. So it's you're requiring a lot for limited snaps.
Understood. Great point. And if you want to hear more of those great points, consider hitting us with a subscribe.
Appreciate
Johnny, let's move over
y'all.
to the other side of the ball where Miami is going to likely be Tua-less, or it's something that we're monitoring as a game time decision is going to be determining if he's playing. He's got a finger issue that he's dealing with right now. This is going to have impacts on the Miami Dolphins. It's going to have impact on all the positions, including Miles Gaskin, running back here for the Dolphins, who's been such an interesting storyline, ups and downs, and so many shifts happening in Miami. I wanted to get your take, though, on Miles Gaskin. You've been pretty close to home on the man. What are you thinking this week? What are you thinking rest of season here for the Miami running back?
So if you didn't check out our trade episode yesterday on our YouTube page, check that out. It was unfortunate. I personally like Miles Gaskin as a running back. I think he's very talented, and I don't think that Miami has used him properly. However, I have said that you should try to open up those trade targets or trade negotiations now, right? Because last week I gave you Nyheim Hines. I said if you need to play someone and he's going to have a good game, I will tell you it doesn't sound great, but play Nyheim Hines.
You were on.
Hines had a great game. Yeah.
Yep.
I got lucky on that one. I'm going to double down again tonight, and I'm going to say if you're thirsty again, you need to play. Go with Miles Gaskin. I understand it seems very shaky, and moving forward, which I'll touch on in a second, it is a little bit shaky. But for tonight, I'm playing him. I'm getting him in my lineup. Like I said, I'm trying to open up those trade negotiations now so people, it gets it in their mind. They're going to want to watch him tonight. He's going to ball out tonight because this matchup is a good one for him. Baltimore is allowing the 7th fewest rushing yards to opposing running backs. So you'd be like, well, why would I want to start him if Baltimore is so stout against the run? Well, that's why it's so key, is because they're actually allowing the 7th most rushing and receiving yards, to opposing running backs. Where do we know that Miles Gaskin is the most effective? Dump off passes out of exactly. So that all bodes well for Miles Gaskin, and as well, Baltimore has allowed 8 rushing touchdowns so far this season, Austin, on the ground. That's tied for 5th in the league. Well, guess what? Gaskin has had 8 red zone touches during the last 3 games, and he's had 2 touchdowns over that. He is the goal line guy. So I like his chances to get in the end zone tonight. I do think he's going to have enough volume. We saw him get 20 total touches last week, which was what he saw last year, right? Like that was the usage that he saw. That's what I was expecting him to get, to start off, but they don't do that. He'll get it tonight, or he should see that tonight, right?
Yeah.
But the reason I say you're going to want to get rid of him after this is because he's going to be an RB. He's an RB2 right now. He's going to have a flash game. He'll have back-to-back flash games or decent games enough to where you can kind of sell him high or get rid of him high, and then you can get something more solid because you have Malcolm Brown is expected to come back next week off of IR, and when that happens, you can expect this to go to another headache as far as
Malcolm Brown was getting work, but right now with him out, I'm not concerned. I love the lack of competition I'm looking at behind Gaskin. Ahmed, I've been tooting the horn of caution last season, and then a little bit earlier this year too. But I mean, last week, 4 carries for 6 yards for Salvon Ahmed. Efficiency's been poor, and he hasn't broken 31% snap share all season long. So I really like Gaskin as long as Malcolm Brown is out. I think he broke it down expertly there. How good was that Wildcat scamper that he had into the end zone too? I like that they were drawing it up for him.
I know it's good. Like I said, he is good. I don't know what is with Miami, and they're good at picking these really efficient running backs, but then they're like, oh, I don't trust it. Like, I know we did all the process to get here, and we drafted him, but I don't trust in that.
Miami's a wild place, brother. They got a lot of mind-altering substances down in South Beach. I don't know. I'm not making any accusations, but there's a lot of distractions down in that part of town.
I got to ask you though.
Yeah.
When it comes to Miami, the 2 biggest questions we get are obviously, do we start Gaskin? Do we trust him? The other one is, do we trust in Waddle for Miami? What do we do with Waddle? Are we playing him tonight? Are you fading him tonight? What are we thinking with Waddle?
Well, I got to add a little bit of context before I give my answer. When we started out the season, I likened the Miami wide receiver core to the Mystery Men, the popular 1990s movie there, because it was like they had so many dudes who had some attractive qualities to them.
Yeah.
Preston Williams, Devontae Parker, Will Fuller, Jalen Waddle, the hyped rookie coming in, but they all had issues with them, right? Like Will Fuller is always suspended and hurt. Devontae Parker is missing a lot of games. Preston Williams is like always hurt, but he's been super impressive in the limited snaps he's had. And then Jalen Waddle's a rookie, so we like what we saw in college coming in. We have high expectations, but you just don't know until you see it. Well, it's a different situation now, though. We're no longer looking at the mystery men. It's we've got like a one-man vigilante over here, and that's Jalen Waddle. And I kind of like what he projects moving forward. Only one of those wide receivers here. Last week with Jalen Waddle brought in 8 of his 10 targets, 83 yards, which isn't amazing, but it's above his average of sub 10 yards per reception. He's above 10 yards per reception last week. I think we're going to continue to see a little bit more of that. It's going to be a little bit more dink and dunk, but Waddle's just got that skill set. He's going to be getting a lot of opportunity. He's averaging over 10 targets in the last month of football. And Johnny, I just don't think that slows down as the other wide receivers are out and Waddle is getting more comfortable with the NFL every single snap. He's no longer a desperate play for me. He's at the sneaky level and barely even at that. I think his buy low days might be over. We just watched second half for rookies, whatever position you're at, quarterback, running back, tight end, wide receiver, you get a lot of experience under your belt. In second half, you usually take a leg up. We already see signs of Waddle doing that on his own. And now with the lack of competition around him, I do like Waddle. And I'm not even concerned even with Waddle in a rainy game. Like, I don't like it. It doesn't make it better. But because he gets so much, because he's not taking like deep down the field actions,
it's
like
close to line of scrimmage.
Very much so. I think he's going to have a decent, I don't think he's going to be impacted as much as another down the field threat wide receiver would be. But I got to ask you then, in that line of thinking, Johnny, what are you thinking about Mike Oseki here? He's having a breakout season. I know you've been a big fan for a long time. What do you think about him coming in this week? The weather precautions, the other variables. Are you liking Oseki this week and maybe a little bit of prognosis moving forward?
I love Oseki, not only this week, but moving forward. Look, this matchup is probably going to be one of the best matchup he gets all year long. Baltimore has surrendered the second most fantasy points to tight ends, the third most receiving yards. And we know that Oseki is gobbling up all those receiving yards, and that it's more of the question of in the red area and him getting touchdowns. But again, I like his chances. I'm not as confident as I am in Gaskin getting in, but I just want to point this out, Austin, before we jump to the live listener question. Appreciate you guys for sticking around. Mike Gesicki, he's seeing a 17.8 target share and seeing fewer than 59 air yards on just 2 out of 9 games this season. He has 636 air yards, Austin. That leads the league right now.
Damn.
Isn't that wild? Yeah.
Really?
He leads the league. Yes. And he's 4th right now in targets for the tight end position with 62. So he is low key smashing the tight end position this year. And he's doing well. I'm keeping him, especially, I mean, both, he has a good rapport with both Tua and Brissett. That's what's so great.
And we talked about all of the ailments to their other wide receivers. That only benefits Gesicki as well. Right?
Yeah.
Like that's great. Yep. Okay. Well, we've got our questions on this matchup here addressed. Heck yeah, we do. We're going to be moving now into your questions. Whisper Nation, thanks for being with us. If you like what you've been listening to, consider hitting us up with that thumb, with the subscribe, with that king size candy bar there, and the thumbs up button. Love that. Ooh, nice, Johnny. That was a good transition. All right, so let's get into some of these questions here. Brett Johnson asked concerns about the weather. Hope it's clear and calm winds. Yeah, monitor that. That's going to have an impact. Maybe you're on the fritz. It's like Rashod Bateman or another guy in my flex. You're making a consideration on that. If the weather does pick up, I would, consider making a shift. If it's big winds, if it's big rain coming in, but I think it's manageable as I'm looking at it right now.
It's looking like it's going to be in the beginning and then it should fade out. So
7 p.m. over here, 6 mile an hour winds. That's dropping down from 11 at 4. So like that looks pretty good. And the precipitation doesn't break 58% as of now. So it doesn't look like it's going to be like major raindrops if they do come in. We might get a little mist that's coming in, but still keep an eye out. But I'm not really changing any of my outlooks on any of these guys. All right, Rob.
Rob asking, what's up, Rob? Freeman or James Robinson PPR?
As long as James Robinson health is fine, I'm gonna still go with the volume, the expected volume of James Robinson. We don't expect Devonta Freeman in a best day to get more than 15 carries. James Robinson, I think, would be surprised if he got less than 15 carries, in this kind of position. So James Robinson is the number 3 elusive halfback on the season. Like, he's running really well.
Oh, he's good.
He's
He's
good.
a good running back. It was once
Just
again,
the opportunity.
it's just the opportunity, man. That's the only scary thing. But what you were seeing, like you said, to your point, before he went down, I mean, 95% snap share, 68, then 85. But even in the 68 game, he still saw 19 touches for 148 yards and a touchdown. So he is a guy that you should probably try to target right now in trades, honestly, because they are leaning when he is healthy right now, and it seems that he'll be back. So yeah, I would go Robinson.
I didn't go Robinson. Johnny, you said to play Judy and Deontay. Now you're saying to play Waddle and possibly sit Judy. You know what I'm talking about. Help me here, bro.
So this was the right thing. Like, as you do more and more research, you find out stuff, and then you get more confident with certain plays. That's why I prefaced it last night when I texted this. I was like, this could change. It's going to depend on some stuff. But yeah, so ultimately I would go with Waddle. I would go with Gaskin, and then I would make sure Waddle is in your wide receiver spot. Deontay can be in your wide receiver spot, and then I'd put Jerry Jeudy in that flex because he's also got Tony Pollard, and he has Mark Ingram that could potentially get a start if either one of those running backs are out. So I told him, because if there's going to be a wide receiver of those 3 that I wouldn't want to play, it would be Jeudy, because he doesn't have the greatest matchup this weekend. So that's who I would say.
I love that breakdown. Let's get another one here. Question from the Chosen Rose. Start 2. Emmanuel Sanders, Christian Kirk, Hunter Renfrow, Jerry Jeudy, Tim Patrick, Russell Gage, AJ Green. Is Christian Kirk your favorite one here?
I do.
If Hop stays out.
This one I would say for this one, I would say tune in on Sunday morning. There's just a lot going on with this one because there's so much still in the air. Like, is AJ Green going to play? He got activated off of the COVID IR today, but we don't know that. We don't know Hopkins' injury. We don't know if Kyler's going to play. I don't expect Kyler to play. So that always, I don't want to play Kirk or AJ Green if Kyler's not playing.
Kirk had a nice game with
Cole. Sure, but they're not playing against San Francisco's weak D. They're going against Carolina, who actually has a pretty stout defense. So I would say tune in on Sunday morning. We could give you a better one. But if I had to say right now, I'd probably go with Emmanuel Sanders and Renfrow as my 2. I just don't trust any other ones. But again, tune in Sunday morning live, 90 minutes before kickoff, and we could give you more up-to-date and accurate.
Yeah, that's a good job from if I just as an answer right here, if you're stuck in a spot, I would just go with talent. Go with who is the most talented. If you have more chance to explore a nuanced approach, but if you don't and you're not, if you find yourself in a cave and you can't join the Sunday morning show, I'd go with who you think is the most talented wide receivers in that situation. Another question, follow-up one here from the Chosen Rose. Pick one: Tyler Higbee, Pat Freiermuth, or Conklin out of Minnesota. Johnny, which tight end do you like the most?
Sorry, probably gonna. I would probably. Let me see. I just need to check something. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go with Freiermuth in this one. I'd probably stay in the flames with Freiermuth.
The dink and dunk nature of Big Ben. Yeah. He has been a big fan of Pat Freiermuth in last couple weeks, though, right? He's been a big red zone target. Looks to be a relied option there in the passing attack, especially with Juju Smith-Schuster out. I like that take.
And Chase could be out as well. So
good point. Yeah, Chase Claypool.
He's banged up.
Yeah, that's even more opportunity for Pat. Trade Hunt and get Dak. Would you do this?
If you need a quarterback, then
I like Dak.
Yeah, if you need a quarterback, I don't mind it. Again, Hunt should be back in the next couple of weeks, so that is something to monitor.
I would do this one if you're not starting Hunt. If all of your running backs are healthy,
if you probably made it this far without Hunt, you could probably trade him.
And if you've
been if you're in a need for a quarterback, then I would do it.
And I think honestly, at this point in the season, when you're starting to get prepared for the playoffs, a difference in replacement. Say let's say you've been streaming people, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've been taking quarterbacks here. Maybe you do some Ryan Tannehill, you do some Kirk Cousins, you do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Dak Prescott, though, I really like what he's projecting out rest of season, and that could give you a wider gap than whoever Kareem Hunt is going to get replaced by on your team. Like Kareem Hunt would have more value than a quarterback normally, even one as good as Dak. But when you get to a point in the season when you're not playing for value, you're playing for points at that point.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Scott says, "Hey guys, what's up, man?
What's up, Scott?"
All right, Jersey J here. My big question is Gaskin, Johnny. I have Chubb, Pollard, and Mark Ingram. I know you seem okay with playing Gaskin, but now you're okay with Waddle over Judy. That's my question. We'll follow up.
Yes. I feel confident that Waddle has, one, a better matchup than Judy, and two, the upside for Waddle is better than with Judy.
Nice. All right.
Chubb, I don't expect Chubb to play this week. He technically has the chance to, but I don't think he's going to. It'd be hard.
Yeah. Do you know any idea when we would have a clear idea if Chubb is in or out? Like if he tests negative
Sunday
tomorrow
morning. He has to have back-to-back negative tests within a 24-hour span.
So we might get one tomorrow, perhaps?
Yeah, like we don't know if his came out negative or positive today. And then it's like, so presumably that's what I said. There's always a chance, like there is a chance.
Yeah,
sure. But from all the sources that I lean into, they've all been saying here's the other thing.
Very unlikely.
Nick Chubb, if Nick Chubb did get cleared, he would have to find his own travel to and from the game. Because it's not a home game. It's not in Cleveland. So he would have to fly to the game because he didn't go with them on the trip. He would have to make his own arrangements to go to the game and then get his own arrangements on the way back. So it's just like really not looking likely.
Lot of things not suggesting it's all that likely to happen. I'm sure he could figure out a way to get to the stadium, but it would it's not being set up well.
Plane train or automobile, I guess.
Start Freeman. I've got Bolden, but I don't know if Harris and Stevenson play. Yeah, they're both dealing with some concussion issues. Would you start Freeman over right now? That's tough because it's Thursday, right?
I would. This is tough. If this is PPR, I'm definitely going Bolden.
What about if one of the two, Harris or Stevenson, play? Same answer?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't hate that take. It's just
we've seen this. Like I don't know. I don't think they're going to be cleared in time. There has been kind of no indication that they're kind of going to be able to or might be on track to. And so I expect that even if they do come back, like how Bill Belichick is with their game plans, like he would lean on Bolden. They trust Bolden. So
yeah, they do. Yeah. Jersey J giving a shout out to the
Patreon.
Love that, man.
We're signed up.
Appreciate you. Got a lot of great. We talked about the free jersey giveaway, the autograph jersey giveaway. We also got sports card giveaways. We got bonus content that comes. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff that comes from being a member of the Patreon community. Encourage you to do that. We've got a question here from Tarnberg. What's up? Great to have you with us. I got Michael Carter, Rashod Bateman, or Mark Ingram if Kamara is out.
I'm going Carter in this one.
Me too. I like Michael Carter a lot.
Yeah.
That would be, and then I would go in that order. I'd go Carter, Bateman, Ingram.
Me too. Yep.
In PPR.
Yeah.
Would you, if it was a standard, would you do Mark Ingram or Rashod Bateman? If Kamara's out.
No, I don't think that they would use him heavily, even still in the pass catching. Like they might give him like three targets, but I don't think he'll be.
I think Mark Ingram's like I think he's kind of like quicksand.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he's more there for big trusts.
Yeah. Mr. Miyagi wants to know, shout out Johnny. I got T. Higgins for Gaskin.
Yeah, all right. Our guy, dude. Let's go, dude. This was so exciting.
I traded Higgins week 1 for the Hawk, and now Higgins is back home. Oh my, dude, that feels so good.
That's cool.
Like when you had emotional connection.
Wow,
like
so
they go in
a full circle.
If you love someone, set them free. If they love you back, they will return. And it looks like that has happened for Mr. Miyagi. I love it. Johnny, questions here on the Raiders D, yay or nay? Jersey J's got to know.
Depends on who you have. I mean, that's not I think
Right.
I think he
Who
said
else is available?
Raiders or I think he said Raiders or Denver. Like which one I'm not sure. Yeah, it would depend on who you play.
So this week, who do the Raiders?
Sorry, not who you play, but who you have.
Raiders
But
are. Oh, that's not that's LA Rams. Who do the Raiders play this week?
they're playing Kansas City, so it's like I don't
No, I don't like that.
particularly want to play them with that defense, but they have. I mean, Kansas City's been playing bad, but we'll see. CH is supposed to. I mean, return to practice day and quote unquote look great. So,
and are they playing? An honest question: are they playing bad, or are they playing not as good as the Kansas City Chiefs we used to see?
They're playing bad.
They're playing bad. All
They're
right.
Like Pat Mahomes looks broken.
He dropped from a 99 to a 98 on Madden.
Oh.
The official recognition of diminished output has been made.
The problem is like, and so here's the whole thing. I watched this kind of film breakdown of it. The problem is that technically Pat Mahomes, like here's what defenses are literally give him the dink and dunk. And they're like, hey, you could take, like, you're not going to go deep. You're not going to get the home run, but you can dink and dunk all you want. And they do that because they have noticed that the more opportunities you give Pat Mahomes to dink and dunk, that eventually he will make a mistake and do a no-look pass or a left-handed shovel, and he'll mess up and turn the ball over. And that's why it's And so that's why you've seen him have a lot more turnovers. That's why you've seen a lot of teams start doing the same thing and playing this Tampa 2 deep coverage. And then they're like, go ahead, dink and dunk, because eventually you guys will fumble. You'll throw an interception. You won't score as much as you were before.
So that's a really good point. Now, I have heard a lot of reports outside from other head coaches and folks who had brought Patrick Mahomes in, as a pre-draft workout, things like that. And the thing that stood out to me from those is we all know how talented he is physically. I didn't really have a grasp on how exceptional he was mentally at the football position. And they were saying, like, this dude learns so fast. He's so far ahead of the curve. So to your point, like, those are great points. I just think that the ship will get righted for Patrick Mahomes, but it doesn't happen overnight. Like, if defensive have a read on you, like, Patrick Mahomes will be okay, but
you've got to
beat
it. You've got to be able to beat it several times, and then teams are like, "Oh, it doesn't work anymore. All right, we're going to switch it up."
And we're not there yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Just incredible. Rashod Bateman, 10 half PPR points over under for Rashod Bateman. This is a good one.
This is a good one.
Let's see.
I'm going to say I think he gets it. Yeah, he gets it.
I do too.
In half PPR, yeah, he gets it.
I like it. He's gotten, in the 3 games he's played, and that's coming in, a month and a half into the season at your rookie year. He hasn't got 4 catches, 3 targets, 5 catches. I like that floor. I think he's going to keep getting more involved. Yeah, I say over 2.
Yeah, he's probably got he's probably going to get 60, a little over 60 yards probably, and 4 to 5 catches, and hopefully he gets a touch. So just under, I guess, then in that case, but it'll be 8 to 10 is what I think he'll get.
Good number. Good question. Scott here. Don't you have to downgrade Hollywood a little with Watkins and Bateman there? I mean, you would say yes if the volume is the same at the passing level, but if it increases, then no. But probably a little, just a little.
Well, I initially thought, again, when looking at this, I was like, when Bateman was coming back, I was like, okay, Hollywood's going to get a regression in the receptions or in the target market share because but it really hasn't. I mean, yes, he didn't get 33. He was seeing 33 above 30%. And yeah, that went down to 22, but that was still leading the wide receivers in target market share. So, and that's still a healthy amount, especially when you're talking about his ADOT and his depth of target and all that.
Right.
It's makes for him
a rising tide. I mean, a rising tide type of situation. Then all boats are getting a lift. F here. I traded Justin Jefferson and Chris Carson for Deontay Johnson and James Robinson. Thoughts?
Love it. Absolutely love it.
I don't like Chris Carson at all.
I think
I'm you can really get any value out of that one. Good for you, man.
I'm really worried about Chris Carson, even though he's coming back. It's I heard it's a herniated disc. It could be, and
it just seems like one of those things. Chris Carson is a tough ass dude who's played mean football his entire life. This is what he does. This is what he knows. He's going to keep trying to get back there. But your neck is made of breakable materials, and football doesn't make it better.
Yeah.
You know, it's you're operating on borrowed time, aren't we all?
Yep.
Jersey J, you got Deontay Robinson. Love that with you there, man.
Yeah.
Lamar and Mark Andrews SS tonight. Good
Hey,
luck.
good double dip to have
I'm
tonight.
gonna be rocking Lamar here in my dynasty league.
There you go.
What upper echelon
As
tight
you
ends
should.
have the Dolphins played? Oh, good question here. What upper echelon tight ends have the
Oh
Dolphins?
my gosh. So we have some breaking news. Obviously, we had breaking news earlier before with Cam Newton signing with Carolina, but
Back home.
that shouldn't have
What
major
happened?
fantasy ramifications. But this is so breaking news just dropped. Free agent wide receiver Odell Beckham is narrowing down his choices, and sources tell me and Kim Jun Sports he is currently narrowing his he is currently focused on the Rams and the Packers.
Okay.
Those to be his final.
The Rams, that's a new one,
Yeah.
but it shouldn't have been, right?
I hope it's so this is a side discussion I was going to get off, but I didn't ever think of the Rams because I was like, first of all, I don't know how they would even pull this off because he would have to get no money because they have no money. I don't even know where they're even getting this monopoly money they have now.
They hide it under the stadium.
Apparently, they buried found some treasure underneath the stadium, never told anybody, and that's where they're getting this extra stuff. But with that being said, I was watching ESPN today, and Stephen A. Smith had brought up the Rams, and he's not normally a football, like he's terrible with his football stuff. But so when he mentioned, I was like, this is a little interesting. I've never heard the Rams before he mentioned this. And then they were talking about it. And I was like, this is odd that he's saying the Rams, and I've never heard about this. How does he know about it? And why would he say this?
Sure.
So exo facto connect dato. That's wild. I hope as a Cardinals fan, this doesn't happen. This would be terrible. I
mean, how much involvement is he really going to take in, though, right? Like, Cooper Kupp is balling. Robert Woods is very good, your war daddy. Van Jefferson is a fine number 3. It's like he's just going to be another option. Like, he's elevated Josh Gordon in Kansas City.
Van Jefferson would then take the back seat, and they would roll with the trifecta of OBJ. I mean, how would you stop that? But at that point, there would be no more excuses. So we'll see. But yeah, that's I as a Cardinals fan, that's why I really don't want this to. And as an analyst, like I'd rather have him go to the Packers where he's got a better chance of being an actual wide receiver too and fantasy relevant and not eating completely. Like Devontae Adams' value is gonna be fine if OBJ goes there. Like you're like, okay. It's just like, oh, Alan Lazard becomes irrelevant for, but he wasn't really relevant before, he's starting to get some talk about, but yeah, it was just wild.
Yeah.
I hope he goes to Green Bay. I really do.
I do too as a fan. And it's like I don't have high expectations for him, but there is the possibility of him coming in and showing us what he did in his first 3 seasons. He's still 29 years old. We know he's got a lot of injuries, a lot of things, and there's a lot of variables working against him, but there is still reason to have some excitement, some hope. I just hope we get an opportunity to see what it actually is. I agree with you, Johnny. I'd like to see him go to Green Bay where we actually get to see him spend more time on the field, have passes thrown his way. It'd be less likely for that to happen in Los Angeles. Yeah. Moving through here to the questions, got to get to the end of them here. We got Paul asking what your thoughts of Waddle, getting some good fantasy points. We liked Waddle. We talked about him earlier in the show. Without Will Fuller, without Devontae Parker, without Preston Williams. He's got an uptick, 80 plus yards last week.
Williams.
Yeah, he's looking pretty good. Yes, Preston Williams. What's up, Eagle Fang? Great to have you with us over here.
What up?
Thoughts on McCaffrey PPR? We're going to be recording the second half of the matchup breakdown show after we end our live broadcast here. And I was covering Christian McCaffrey for the Panthers. He didn't look like himself all the way, but it didn't matter because he's getting the work on the ground. He's getting the work in the air. And he's going to be, even if he's playing closer to his floor with that volume, it's fine. Yeah. Like he's going to be double digit. He might be closer to like 10, 11, 12 points, and he has like 20 points, but you're not taking that out of your lineup. Like,
no, not at all.
So like, you're excited to have him back. I know I am.
Yeah, I would be trying to trade for him if I could.
Yeah, Rashod Bateman's cool, man. We like him.
Yep. It's what the heck flex if you need it on a Thursday.
Yeah.
Jersey J with the rain, you're still good with Waddle over Jerry Jeudy. Yes, I am.
Thomas Medina here. Muchachos, awesome content. Appreciate that. Pick one for my RB2, por favor. Hines, Jeremy McNichols, Scott, Eno, or Bell. Please advise. Gracias. Ooh.
Yeah. I
don't like Boston Scott anymore at all.
Yeah, that one. I would probably go Eno and Hines, to be honest with you.
But you just don't like James Conner, do you, bro? You think Eno's coming in for and taking some work?
Well, Eno is going to take the Chase Edmonds that work. He will.
But James Conner had over 20 carries.
And that's fine. He can have. Do you know how much this team runs the ball? They are top 5 in rushing attempts, people. There are a lot of rushing attempts.
Eno had 9
passes. And
Eno had 9 carries
to go around. It's fine. It's okay. James Conner is going to get the work. He's going to get the goal line. But in this case, when you're throwing this stuff at me, I'm going to tell you, get Eno, because he's going to get you yards. There is a chance he could get in the end zone because he's actually a bigger back, but he's going to get the receiving work for you. So you want to go with that one. But he only has to pick one. So in this case, if I only have to pick one, then I'm going Hines.
You're going Hines.
Yeah.
I like Hines. I'm giving a little bit of consideration to Bell. I think McNichols actually has the highest. Well, no, Eno does have the highest floor, even though I'm more of a James Conner supporter than you are. But
James Conner is playing well. I'm getting him in the lineup, especially moving forward. Great. But I'm telling you, Eno will have a role on this team.
For sure.
Eno will get the pass catching work that they're not going to give it fully to James Conner because he's not a severely great catcher out of the backfield. But Eno
caught all 5 of his last week for 77 yards.
Yeah, he can do that. I'm not saying but they don't do that. That's what I'm telling you.
I'm excited to watch. I'm excited to watch and see what comes forward. Let's see here. What other questions do we have here? Running backs are Eckler, Swift on and Monty, and my number 1 quarterback is Tannehill for the hunt. Okay, a little bit of clarification.
I would do this deal 100%.
Oh shit, I didn't see this one coming in here. Whoa, we got hit with a super chat. Apologies for not getting this earlier.
Ready?
Woo! All right. Got him here. Appreciate that. Matt, trade Eckler and Beasley for Tyreek and Elijah Mitchell. Eckler and Beasley for Tyreek and Elijah Mitchell. Trading away Beasley and Eckler and getting Tyreek and I would.
Yeah, I would do this deal. Sorry, I thought this was I didn't see that Beasley was the second round.
Oh, Matt, I'm so sorry that we waited on this one too. You hit us with this earlier. Our bad.
Yeah, our apologies.
I didn't right away.
I don't know why it didn't pop up. It normally pops up to the top. That's really
I know.
weird.
I know.
Apologies, Matt.
Much appreciated this. All right. And appreciate that thumbs up, hitting us with a thumbs up there. Even if we missed the super chat, man, that was cool.
Yeah, I feel that was the first super chat. That was so odd. It did not pop up.
I know.
We got a lot of chance in here. Okay.
All right. Lucius here. Daryl Williams, Cortland Sutton, Devin Singletary, or Rashod Bateman.
Singletary.
Yeah. Is there any updates on Moss?
No updates on Moss. I wouldn't expect him to play. Great matchup.
I like Singletary a lot.
Yeah.
Shit. It's Jersey J hit us. He gave us that heads up, man. I still so bad about that. Moving forward, though. AJ Brown, Aaron Jones, Javonte, Eckler, Monty, and Chris Carson PPR. I have now Kyler, Aaron Jones, Devonta Freeman, Sanders, AJ Brown, Jamar, DK, Kelsey Bateman.
I'm not trading for Chris Carson. No, I wouldn't do this deal. You're giving up way too much.
Agreed.
Yeah, AJ Brown is gonna be like top 5 rest of the season.
Oh, Matt, it was time sensitive too. We got to follow up with Matt, dude. We gotta like hit him up in the chats here or something.
Oh man, I feel bad. Yeah, we'll hit him up.
All right, yeah. Bateman or Emmanuel Sanders, half point PPR.
I'm going Bateman.
Me too.
Actually, no, I'm not. I would actually go Emmanuel Sanders against
Sanders
Jags.
Around? Yeah.
Against Jags, yeah.
Is bounce back?
I do.
I like the ceiling of Sanders. I just am nervous with that floor right now. It's tough after such a bad week, but if they bounce back, it's Sanders. I like the floor of Bateman.
I do like you're right. I would agree with that. I like the floor of Bateman, but I like the ceiling of Sanders. I don't know if Bateman quite has the ceiling with Marquise there.
Yeah. OBJ to the Rams talking to this. Oh, yeah, we got people coming in here talking about OBJ to the Rams. That was cool.
Yeah.
All right. Should I start Deontay this week with Claypool out or start Metcalf?
I'm starting both. How can you not start? Hey,
unless you got
you got to start both these guys.
I love these both starts.
But if I have to sit one, I would sit Metcalf over Deontay.
I love Deontay. It's any PPR too.
Yeah, and especially against Detroit with
Chase
no
out.
Claypool. Yeah. He's going to have a day.
Start 2 PPR, Javonte Williams, Freeman, or Bateman.
I'm going. Sorry,
I'm cutting the middle.
I would go. I'm going Freeman, Javonte and Freeman on this one.
Freeman over Bateman.
Yes.
On this one in PPR. All right. Keenan Allen, Diggs, Hollywood Brown, Deebo Samuel, sit 1.
I'm sitting Deebo.
Sitting Deebo. All right.
Yes.
All right, Thomas. Thanks, brothers. You are very welcome. With OBJ now going to the Rams, you think Kupp will still be able to produce like he has? Probably doesn't have a big impact.
I mean, yeah, it would have a big impact because a lot of. I mean, he wouldn't be the number 1 wide receiver anymore because
you don't think Cooper Kupp maintains his number 1 wide receiver role with the emergence of Odell Beckham?
If OBJ goes to LA, no, I don't think that he remains the wide receiver 1 overall. If you have OBJ, Robert Woods, and Cooper Kupp, and the number,
I was saying 1 overall. I think he probably still does.
That's where he's at. That's what I'm saying. What is his effect? It's going to go.
I'm talking about in LA.
Huh?
I'm talking about in LA. Do you think we'll still be able to produce like he has? Maybe
he
not
hasn't
number 1,
produced.
Top 5.
Well, OBJ hasn't produced, so I mean, will he be better? We'll see. I mean, he should be.
Will Kupp be able to produce like he has?
Yeah, I mean, he won't be able to produce like he has, but he will still be solid. He would still be a top 12 wide receiver, but he would probably be on a lower end of that, or a wide receiver 1. I don't think a big part of the reason why he's so dominant right now in the wide receiver 1 is because he has a grip of touchdowns. And if you're adding a guy like OBJ, who's a big down the field threat, you can imagine some of those touchdowns are actually going to be taken away. So that's the big issue for me.
I mean, touchdowns and yards though too, right? It's not like he's 95 yards, 115 yards, 156, 130, 92, 163. Right. These are all this year.
Yes, and I understand. But if you're adding a big name like OBJ and you're taking away touchdowns, and I'm saying you're adding in, you aren't going to bring him in and sit him on the bench, are you? No, he's coming in because he wants targets and he wants to win. So those are the 2 things that he wants, and he wants to show you that he still has it and he can play. So he's not going to sign with somewhere unless he knows, hey, I'm going to actually get some targets. I'm going to get more than 2 targets in a game for 6 yards. I'm going to get more than that. So
Cooper Kupp, bit of a sensitive subject for us.
No,
over
it's just
here.
like you have to think about this logically. It's not like OBJ just comes there and all of a sudden it's like, oh, OBJ can now increase this by 16 touchdowns. I don't think
Odell Beckham is going to do a lot.
Where
we just said at the top of the show that he's going to take over Van Jefferson's role. And Van Jefferson is a respectable wide receiver. He's not he's not just an afterthought. So if he comes in and replaces that Van Jefferson work, that's not going to have an overall impact on the overall game.
But he's a better player right now than Van Jefferson is my point.
So maybe they get more first downs. Do you think he gets
touchdowns? Instead of, that's the other thing. Like if you look at where Cooper Kupp, where he's getting these touchdowns, like they're coming on really long plays and they haven't been necessarily that he is just in the red zone, the number 1 target every time. Like Bobby T has been getting in there. Bobby Trees has been taking up a lot of red zone areas. That's what I'm saying is like the number 1 tight end target in the red zone right now, Tyler Higbee. Like you have these guys, and by adding a guy like OBJ, sure,
Johnny,
is he
Cooper
what
Kupp
he used
leads
to be?
The league in wide receiver yards.
Yes,
you're saying a lot of his points. So
he's done that. Hold on, he's done that though. He has been a top 4 in yards after the catch.
He's leading the league in yards.
He's again, if you add a receiver to that receiver core, like OBJ, he will eat into Cooper Kupp. He will eat into Bobby T, because that is the reality. Just similarly Two, what happened to DeAndre Hopkins? Is DeAndre Hopkins a top 5 wide receiver right now? No. Is he going to be a top 5 receiver the rest of the season? No. He's probably going to be a wide receiver 1, sure, but he's not. Why? Because they brought in AJ Green, they brought in Christian Kirk and Rondale Moore. There's 2 and Ertz.
I thought we weren't as excited about Odell Beckham though. I thought Odell Beckham wasn't actually that good of a receiver.
I don't think we got a $5 one. We see it this time.
Heyo. We gotta go ahead and
woo!
Hit him with a Ric Flair. Woo!
You keep
all right, appreciate that, Cam. Would you trade AJ Dillon for Alexander Madison? Also, do you like Elijah Moore going forward? Yes to Elijah. Or wait, sorry, I thought it was Elijah Mitchell. Elijah Moore is one of a lot of wide receivers in New York. Do you like him?
I do like him. I like him the most out of any of the other wide receivers.
I do
in New
too.
York.
I do too.
Yeah.
Would you trade AJ Dillon for Alexander Madison?
Yes, I would.
And
because it's because of the spec. I don't see. I'll just be honest. I don't see a world where Dalvin Cook finishes this season. After seeing the pictures of what I saw, and seeing that I'm not gonna. I don't want to get it on the thing, but his press conference said a lot. His press conference and the way he dealt with that said a lot. It didn't sound like someone who had been domestically abused emotionally or anything. I'm just saying, I'm not like a counselor or anything, but I just think it sounds a little. It's disheartening. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Pick him up. That's a really good pick.
I would trade. I know AJ Dillon. He would be a good play this week. But if you can trade him for Alexander Madison, and like I said, I just, after seeing what we've seen with Kareem Hunt, after evidence came out with that, after Ray Rice's evidence came out, and we actually got to see the photos, it changes the story. You really. So
when you see, you get to see the fire, man. It does shit it up. I think AJ Dillon has more standalone value, but if this Dalvin Cook news goes the way that we believe it will, then Alexander Madison's production value is going to blow him out.
Yeah, he's a top 10 running back. Yeah.
All right, here. So good question. Thanks you for the support here.
Yes,
we asked that one. Would you trade Hurts and Gaskin for Mixon and Daniel Jones PPR? Oh, Mixon is so good right now. Yeah, I would do this for sure. For sure. I know you can keep looking for another quarterback. Hurts is fine, but with them running the ball more, it's a decrease.
And talk about the matchup show we bring up. Hurts this wild. I think I had 3 out of 5 games he's had less than 160 passing yards. 2 of those games he's had less than 120. They're just making him a game manager until he has to bail him out, and by that time it's his legs bail you out, but it's still Danny Dimes. And you can stream another quarterback. I would.
Yeah, I would do it just for the Mixon. I would do it just for Mixon.
You're getting the best player. Yep.
I got Cubs some other wide receivers, so should I start DK Metcalf over Dearness Johnson at flex? I mean, I'm wondering who's your third other one too. But
that's a great wide receiver stack there. That's great.
Crushing. I wonder who you're starting in your flex alternatively then.
I mean, you'd probably go with Deontay, Metcalf, and Kupp normally, but yeah, I would play with those. Or sorry, I would go Kupp, Deontay, and Dearness.
Oh, Dearness Johnson. I kept thinking he was thinking Deontay Johnson. Stupid.
Well, Deontay was his other wide receiver.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Other quarterbacks are Carr and Murray. Oh, hell yeah, dude. Yeah, for sure. Slim Reaper jumping in. Whisper Nation strong. Good to have you, man. Love it. Yeah. You'll see. Donnie thinks so, and I'm really looking forward to following out and poking those buttons through the rest of the season.
I've been spot on with this wide receiver thing so far, so I'm pretty confident in it.
Yeah, I'll let you have that one right now because I love you.
Go check the video. I called it the summer. We put it out during the summer. Cooper Kupp, and I called it to a T. To a T. Go check it out. It's on our channel.
Cooper Kupp, what he's doing?
No, I said Cooper. Well, it was a Cooper Kupp or a Bobby T. Who do you want to draft? Who would you rather pick? And I said, go watch it. I won't even tell you what I said, but go watch it and you tell me if I was wrong, Whisper Nation. You could tell me and I'll bring it on if I was wrong. But you'll go watch it and you'll be like, wow, that was spot on.
We got some more receipts that we could pull up between now and then also that would be fun to bring into the conversation. Do it. Slim, trade me Harris jersey after I'm in that Mixon jersey. That'd be a fun one.
We are. Yeah. So we're going to be opening up a Discord chat channel, or that's a plan where prior winners can do this. So you'll be able to talk with each other, and if you want to switch.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. So we're setting that up.
And then
stick with us.
We got the cards they could flip around. We've got the jerseys. Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
All right. Harry Wolf, Kelsey for Monty and Pitts PPR. for Monty and Pitts.
Oh yeah, I would. I would
Pitts.
do this.
I would
do
it
this
too, man.
Yeah, I would do this.
It's fun too. It's gonna feel a little naughty, but like,
yeah, right. Yeah,
but I think you're actually gonna be happy on the other side. Like, I'm not surprised if Pitts finishes ahead of Kelsey rest of season. Like, and then you get David Montgomery on top. I love it. I'm not surprised. I'm not banking on it. I'm just not surprised, is what I'm saying. All right. Nope, end of the month. We got a lot of folks here talking about end of the month coming up for the jersey. Eagle Fang going to be getting that one. I hope you got a shot, man. And anybody else who's looking to enter $10 at the Patreon level automatically enters in you to our signed jersey giveaway. This month it is going to be Joe Mixon. Last month it was Damian Harris.
I love this. Some people saying no, end of month, just getting you prepared for heartbreak. Or just getting you prepared for heartbreak, because he's saying some people are saying he's going to win it.
Eagle Fang here, trade Chuba for Michael Carter to a CMC owner. I mean, yeah, if you can.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I love that deal.
Sure, right away.
Great deal.
And I'd be willing to throw in a little bit more too to make that happen. I like Michael Carter moving forward this season. All right, Michael Chapp here. I've got Johnson from Cleveland, Dearness Johnson. Do I start Gaskin tonight? Do I just hope Johnson starts with Chubb and Felton out with COVID? I have McKissick and Zach Moss as emergency options if Johnson doesn't play. Zach Moss is probably not going to play either, so you don't have that this week. I would say yes. Oh, wait, no. I like Dearness Johnson over Miles Gaskin, but I like Miles Gaskin too.
Miles Gaskin has a better matchup, but you're going to get a better run game with Johnson. I do expect New England and actually, frankly, Baker does, and the Cleveland Browns do. You said it today. They expect New England to try to shut down the run game. So I would expect Baker to kind of. I'm telling you, Baker's going to have another day. But I think Johnson being the only one, like, he'll get everything. So I would just bank on volume and that good offensive line over, my gut feeling and what I'm saying about Gaskin tonight. Like, that's what I would, but I'm gonna watch. Gaskin's gonna have like one of those mega ball stays, and I'll be like, no. But the safer play is to go with Johnson on this one.
Yeah, we saw what he's capable of. We saw how they leaned on him, and if there's nothing else there, that would be it. So we're coming to the end of the questions here. Kicker Whisper, Johnny, do I start Nick Folk, Joseph, or Hopkins?
I'm going Folk on this one.
All right.
In the flames with Folk.
Staying in the flames with Folk. Well, we appreciate you, Whisper Nation, for staying in the flames with us through the Thursday breakdown episode and getting to all of these amazing questions. You guys had some really good ones, got into some great conversation. If you liked what you were listening to and you haven't yet subscribed, we ask you to go ahead, do us a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button, allows us to grow the channel. And if you go ahead and you can join our free Discord channel to keep this conversation going. If you subscribe through our Patreon, you get access to our exclusive Discord link. And as we have mentioned throughout the show, automatic entries into our signed jersey giveaways, sports card giveaways, bonus content. There's a ton of amazing stuff that's available to you, as well as to be part of a great fantasy football community where you can feel like you belong. So you go ahead and sign up at patreon.com, just search for the Fantasy Whispers, and there it is. On behalf of Johnny Game Time Hicks, Big Travie, my name is Austin Sear. We're the Fantasy Whispers. We're out.
Peace.
Right here.
Look at you go. You made it to the end of another one of our videos. Hey, if you still have some questions, I totally understand. Or you just want to join an awesome fantasy football community, head on over to our Discord chat. Link is in the description below. And if you're still not sold on us, check out one of these